Nagpapatuloy po ang special coverage ng telebisyon ng Bayan kaugnay ng huling State of the Nation Address ni Pangulong Benigno S. Aquino III. Ako po si Aljo Bendio kasama sina Cathy Untalan-Vital at Professor Xiao Chua.
Ngayong hapon nga, inaabangan na ang pag-uulat ni Pangulong Aquino ukol sa mga tagumpay ng kanyang panunungkulan sa mga huling taon na ito.
At hanggang ngayon, sa mga huling araw ng kanyang panunungkulan, inaasahan natin ang patuloy na pagsisikap ng pamahalaan na magpatupad ng mga reforma para sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng ating mga na siyang tunay na mga boss.
Pero bago yan, humingi tayo ng update kaugnay naman ng muling pagbubukas ng sesyon ng dalawang kapulungan ng Kongreso. At mula sa Senado, mag-uulat ng live ang aming kasamang si Jade Miguel. Jade?
Yes, bandang alas 10 nga ng umaga ay nagsimula na nga ang pagbubukas ng third regular session ng 16th Congress. Pinangunahan nito kanina ng isang panalangin na dineliver ni Senator Sonny Angara at sinundan nito ng pag-awit ng ating national anthem. So 18 senador ang dumalo ngayon sa third opening ng third regular session. At pagkatapos ng isinagawang statement ni Senate President Franklin Drilon ay sinundan nito ng paglalatag ng resolusyon ni Senate Majority Floor Leader Alan Peter Cayetano na nagsasabing naabot nga ng Senado ang quorum at handa na ang dalawang kapulungan ng Kongreso upang makinig ng SONA ng Pangulo. Samantala, kanina rin ay nagsalita na nga si Senate President Franklin Drilon at ngayon ay tunghayan natin kung ano ang mga naipasa at napagtagumpayang batas ng Senado sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Pangulong Aquino.
Colleagues, excellencies of the diplomatic corps, fellow workers in government, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today, we open the third and last regular session of the 60th Congress. This being the last session of Congress in the Aquino administration, we take this opportunity to report on what we have done for the past 5 years and what we will do in the remaining year. We can proudly report to the Filipino people that we have been pursuing reforms to propel our nation to greater economic, political, and social heights. As the leader of this august chamber, I am proud of our accomplishments. I am grateful to you, my esteemed colleagues, for giving more of your time, knowledge, and expertise in crafting laws that would improve the life of the nation. 2 years ago, we convened the inaugural session of the Senate in the 16th Congress. We challenged ourselves to answer what Juan de la Cruz has been asking us for years. Ano ba ang kinalaman sa aking buhay? Juan de la Cruz, ito po ang aming tugon. On good governance, during the first SONA of the President in 2010, he cited the excesses of the GOCCs, as in the case of the MWSS. In response, we passed the GOCC Governance Act and made state-owned enterprises instruments of national progress instead of being milking cows. In 2013, the GOCCs remitted 28 billion in dividends to the national treasury, and in 2014, over 32 billion. Cases in the Sandigan Bayan take 5 to 7 years to resolve. To enable the speedy disposition of corruption cases, we amended the Sandigan Bayan law, adding 2 more divisions and modifying the anti-graft court's jurisdiction by transferring minor cases to the regional trial court. We amended the Anti-Money Laundering Act to expand the list of entities required to report covered transactions to the Anti-Money Laundering Council. We also authorized freeze orders and inquiries on bank accounts and bank deposits upon order of the court based on ex parte petition by the Council. On the economy, To make our country more competitive, we passed measures to stimulate the economy and attract foreign investments, thus creating more jobs. Last week, the President signed the Philippine Competition Act. It took more than 20 years for Congress to enact the antitrust law. We now finally have a competition policy that outlaws and penalizes anti-competitive agreements, abuse of dominant position, and anti-competitive mergers and acquisitions. In 2013, the President asked Congress to amend the cabotage law in order to foster greater competition and to lower the cost of transportation for our agricultural sector and other industries. We responded by amending the cabotage law to achieve these goals. We legislated the full entry of foreign banks for them to acquire and invest up to 100% of the voting stock of a domestic bank. We also enacted the law that allowed foreign investors to own 60% of the voting stock in rural banks. To boost our tourism industry, we exempted foreign carriers from paying on a reciprocity basis the common carriers and value-added tax for the transport of passengers. To strengthen the insurance industry and make it more resilient to shocks, we enacted the revised insurance code, which imposed more stringent capitalization requirements. On health, we have not neglected the social needs of our people. For more than 10 years, our excise taxes on tobacco and alcohol favored certain brands. We responded with the passage of the sin tax reform law. It leveled the playing field. Thus, we generated an additional excise tax collection of over 50 billion pesos last year. 37 billion of this incremental revenue was allocated to enroll 15 million indigent in PhilHealth and cover our senior citizens, which we required under the amendments to the expanded Senior Citizens Act. The National Health Insurance Act demonstrated our commitment to provide health care to each and every Filipino, especially our indigents. The Graphic Health Warning Act compelled cigarette companies to graphically demonstrate in cigarette packs the deadly effects of smoking. The Responsible Parenthood and Productive Health Law was one of the reform measures enacted by this Congress. The law provided universal access to medically safe, effective, legal, affordable, and quality reproductive health services, information, and education. On education, in the 60th Congress, we underscored the importance of education as a weapon to fight poverty. We passed the Ladderized Education Act, the Open Learning System, the Distance Education Act, and the Open High School System Act to enable those who have less in life more access to good education. The Scholar ng Bayan Act accords the top 10 public high school graduates with scholarships to state universities and colleges of their choice. This implements the Fast Track Science and Technology Scholarship Act, which we passed in 2013. The Enhanced Basic Education Act is now the cornerstone of our learning system. The K-12 program, which covers kindergarten, 6 years of primary education, 4 years of junior high school, and 2 years of senior high school, would provide our students sufficient time to master concept and skills and develop stronger fundamentals for college education. K-12 also aligns our basic education program with those of other countries. On employment, more than 80,000 Filipino seafarers face the threat of losing their jobs in EU-flagged vessels because of our failure to comply with the International Convention on Seafarers. we responded by passing the Marina Law. Last year, the European Union threatened to ban Philippine marine and fisheries products. This threatened the livelihood of our fisherfolk. We responded by amending the Fisheries Code to comply with international standards and strengthen our laws against illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. This also redounded to the benefit of Filipino traders who can now export specific products tariff-free to EU markets. Over the years, our co-workers complain of outdated tax which unduly reduced their take-home pay. These rates were set in 1992. We raised the rate for the 30th month pay and other benefits from 30,000 pesos to 82,000 pesos to restore our workers' purchasing power, which was eroded due to inflation. My esteemed colleagues, since the beginning of the Aquino administration, we have worked hard to institute reforms needed to improve our economy, create a stable political environment, and improve our infrastructure. We achieved our legislative agenda because we worked closely with our partners in the House of Representatives, meeting the House leadership on a regular monthly basis. But let us walk a mile more. We are racing against time. We must set aside political interest and think of solutions to the nation's pressing problem. Let us remind ourselves that we are here to serve the people and not special interest groups. Continue in the last regular session of this Congress and even beyond the pursuit of good governance and the audacity to implement meaningful reforms no matter how unpopular or painful they may be. We will scrutinize the national budget. We will pass it on time this year, as we have done in the past 5 years, so that government will not operate on a reenacted budget. If you recall, because of the reenacted budget, the previous administration converted the entire General Appropriations Act into a single lump sum. We assure our people that the pork barrel system is a thing of the past. We will continue to promote lasting peace and sustainable development in Mindanao through a Bangsamoro Basic Law that is consistent with our Constitution. On the economic front, we will create a better policy environment for public-private partnerships. The recently inaugurated Manila-Cavite Expressway took 4 years to finish because of the gaps in the Build, Operate, and Transfer law and acquisition of right-of-way. We will address these gaps. To enhance trade and commerce, we will pass the Customs and Tariff Modernization Act. This will introduce full automation of customs procedures and strengthen the Bureau of Customs risk management, revenue collection, and enforcement system. In 2013, our government lost an estimated 200 billion pesos in revenues due to smuggling. The Tax Incentives Monitoring and Transparency Act will become law in. This will foster transparency and accountability in the grant of special incentives to business entities. In the area of technology, we will create the Department of Information and Communication Technology to develop ICT systems and enhance communication services. We have the most expensive internet rates, but one of the slowest in terms of speed, outpacing only Afghanistan. We will modernize Pag-asa. We will equip our Weather Bureau with state-of-the-art facilities and technologies. My esteemed colleagues, we have seen the vigor and enthusiasm of our people to participate in the life of our nation, we have heeded their intense calls for meaningful reforms. All our hard work will rake in huge dividends in improving the life of Juan de la Cruz, strengthening the economy, creating a stable political system, and providing social protection to our citizens. I am confident that they appreciate collective efforts to institutionalize these reforms. I note with pride that our people have become more zealous and vigilant to protect our gains. The challenge that is thrown to us and to the people who will be elected in 2016 is to ensure the continuity of these reforms. We must ensure a bright and promising future for the younger generation and the generations yet unborn. That, my esteemed colleagues, will be our priceless legacy. God bless the Philippines. Bless the Filipino people. God bless the Senate. Maraming salamat po.
At natunghayan nga natin ang naturang speech ni Senate President Franklin Drilon kanina sa pagbubukas ng third regular session ng Senado, kung saan sinabi nga niya ang mga napagtagumpayang batas ng Senado sa ilalim ng pamumuno ni Pangulong Aquino. Kabilang nga dito ang GOCC Governance Act na sinabi niya na nag-yield ng 28 billion pesos noong 2013 at 32 billion naman noong 2014. Kasama na rin dito ang pag-aamyenda sa Anti-Laundering Act na nag-authorize sa freeze order. Sa ekonomiya ay nagpasa rin sila ng mga panukala na nakapagpapalago ng ating ekonomiya, kabilang na dito ang Philippine Competition Law at ang mga ilang amendments sa Cabotage Law. Sa aspekto naman ng health ay pinagmalaki din ni Senate President Franklin Drilon ang excise tax collection na umabot ng 50 billion pesos noong nakaraang taon na siyang nakapag-enroll sa indigent families sa PhilHealth. Kabilang na rin dyan ang National Health Insurance Act, Graphic Health Warning Act at RH Law. Sa aspekto naman ng edukasyon, naipasa rin ng Senado ang Ladderized Education Act, Open High School System Act, Act at K-12 program. Samantala sa pagtatapos ng speech kanina ni Drilon ay panawagan niya sa kanyang mga kapwa-senador na ipagpatuloy lang nila ang pagpasa ng mga panukalang batas para sa ikabubuti ng kalagayan ng bawat Pilipino. At pagkatapos nga ng naturang speech ni Drilon ay ipinanukala ni Senator Bam Aquino na isuspinde muna ang sesyon hanggang mamayang alas 4 ng hapon para sa isang joint session sa House of Representatives upang mapakinggan ang State of the Nation address ng ating Pangulong Aquino. At yan muna ang pinakahuling balita mula dito sa Senado, kasama ang Unit 3 para sa SONA 2015. Jade Miguel para sa
Maraming salamat, Jade Miguel. SONA 2015, Professor Xiao at Cathy, ito yung pang-anim, 6th, the final State of the Nation address ng ating mahal na Pangulo since 1935 Constitution and the 29th since the restoration ng ating Democratic Fifth Republic. So this is the 16th Congress.
Yes, 16th Congress. From the Congress of 1946, Manuel Rojas, which is the Third Republic.
And we just heard kanina from Senate President Franklin Drilon at doon nga niya inisa-isa yung iba't ibang mga achievements ng kanilang ng Senado at talagang inend niya ito by saying that we have to ensure para naman yung mga gandang nangyari sa kanilang termino ay magpatuloy pa sa susunod.
In fact, yung SONA is delivered by the President talaga, no?
Yes.
Every year yan, taon-taon po yan. It is in order to unveil the government's agenda for the coming year, 2015 and 2016. And syempre kasama din dyan yung pong ilang mga proposals no, dyan sa Congress of certain legislative measures.
Yeah, but since this is the speech that everyone watches, nilalagay na rin dito kung ano yung naging achievement. And the last SONA is always expected to be yung tinatawag natin na legacy speech. Ano ba ang iiwan ng mga... Bagamat we have to say na isang taon pa siya sa pagka-presidente.
At nabanggit mo nga na meron pa siya isang taon. Ako, personally curious ako kung malaman kung ano pa talaga yung mga batas na talagang itutulak ng kanyang ng pamahalaang ito para bago siya mag-step down ay masabi niyang legacy laws ang mga ito.
Yes, marami naghihintay dun sa FOI kung ito ay gagawin niyang ipupush niya sa Kongreso natin.
At saka syempre yung anti-dynasty law natin, which needs talagang enabling law na talagang gagawin dyan sa Kongreso, pero naantala. Pero we are hoping na talagang mabigyan ng pansin yan ng Pamahalang Aquino.
Yes.
Okay. Kung mga coverage po natin, papatuloy po. Marami pa tayong mga balita at informasyon sa pagpapatuloy po ng special coverage ng Telebisyon ng Bayan, SONA 2015.